Coming up on SUTV News, we'll talk about the expansion at Zion National Park.
And the shooting in Santa Clarita. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to SUTV News. I'm Jeff Mullins.
And I'm Kurt Meekum.
With Southern Utah University's three-year bachelor's program, SU has added 4 new accelerated online master's degree programs. Beginning in spring 2020, a Master's of Arts in Professional Communication, Master of Disciplinary Studies, Master of Music with emphasis in Music Technology, and Master of Business Administration will be offered through a 100% online platform. The degrees can be earned as quickly as 1 year and only costing between $13,000 and $17,000 total. SU now offers 7 bachelor's and 11 master's degrees that can be earned completely online.
At 7:40 a.m. today, a gunman opened fire on Saugus High School campus in Santa Clarita, California, leaving 3 injured and 2 dead. The suspect, a 15-year-old male Asian and student from SHS, is currently in custody. Students are seen with their hands up, walking from the school to safety. The injured students were placed on gurneys and transported to the nearest hospital. A student from SHS said he, quote, grew up knowing this is a thing that happens, close quote. 2 months ago, 6 students were detained from Saugus High School due to threats they made online about committing acts of school violence.
Zion National Park is currently expanding their southern entrance to allow park visitors to enter more easily and quickly. The redesign has been in the works since 2016 and construction finally began this past Tuesday. According to the National Park Service, the line of cars at the park entrance can sometimes reach up to half a mile long, resulting in an hour wait. The expansion of the southern entrance will add more incoming and outgoing lanes, as well as additional fee booths. Construction is expected to take place until April 2020.
You know, I have to admit, I'm actually really excited for that. Zion always has a bunch of people that are there. It's the most. I think when I went there, they said it was the 3rd or 4th most visited park in the nation.
Oh wow!
Behind like the Grand Canyon, and I think it was Glacier. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I believe it, and especially with all the traffic that apparently happens, an hour-long wait just to get in. So, hopefully, this construction will be very helpful.
Oh yeah, I mean, and even just cutting the wait time down to like a half an hour. That leaves so much more time for your day, and so much more time to go and eat in Springdale or something. You can drive down to St. George, come up here to Cedar and find something to do. Yeah. It's going to do nothing but help.
Exactly. Next, the John Huntsman Jr. candidacy announcement.
And an overview of the impeachment hearings in Washington, D.C. Stay tuned.
Check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed, it could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
$48,000 United States automobile workers are still on strike for increased job security. Gateway for temporary workers to become permanent, better pay, and retaining healthcare benefits. The strike has been named the 2019 General Motors strike and has been happening since September 15th. Because of the mass amount of workers that have left, automobile shops and dealerships around America are at a huge slump, unable to retrieve car parts, which forces them to keep all damaged cars in shop until the strike is over. An analyst for Credit Suisse, a financial services company, estimated that General Motors could lose as much as $50 million each day the strike continues. We are following the story to keep everyone updated. Stay tuned.
In the 2020 election, John Huntsman Jr. appeared here at SUU today for a question and answer panel. During the Q&A panel, Huntsman addressed parts of his platform, including the growth curve in Utah and around the country. Huntsman said the reason he chose SUU was due to the fact that places like Iron County are ground zero for growth. Huntsman prides himself in, quote, not being a politician, but a public servant.
I hope that all of you students here are thinking about how you're going to impact tomorrow. How are you going to step up and make the world a better place? How are you going to get out there? I don't care what issues you're compelled by. I don't care what political party you affiliate with. I want you to change the world. I want you to learn something here at this great institution and then wrap it up and go out and do what a lot of other Americans before you have done. Change the world.
Huntsman is planning to tour all of the campuses in Utah over the coming weeks.
We are honored and delighted to host Governor Huntsman today and just thrilled that he chose SUU as the place to come to be his first public appearance after the announcement that he's running for governor.
Impeachment hearings for President Donald Trump have begun. The background of the hearings begin with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's accusations against the president. President Trump has been accused of pressuring the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to reveal damaging information on the main Democratic runner, Joe Biden, and his son, Hunter Biden, who has worked for a Ukrainian company in the past. The basis for this impeachment hearing is the fact that asking foreign entities for help in the U.S. election is illegal. The evidence that's being used is a complaint from an unnamed intelligence officer who wrote a letter showing concern about President Trump's July 25th call with President Zelensky. The call transcript revealed President Trump had urged the Ukrainian president to investigate discrediting allegations against the Bidens. This call came shortly after President Trump had blocked the release of millions of dollars in U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Trump denies using U.S. military aid as a ploy to bargain with Zelensky. He has called the impeachment inquiry a witch hunt by the Democrats and media. The Republican defense consists of three parts. Ukrainian's president has said he felt no pressure. The Ukrainians were unaware the military aid was held back, and the U.S. military aid was eventually released.
What's the bribe here? The bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation into the elections.
So could we be looking at
bribery?
Could
Yes.
we be looking at an article of impeachment? How do we do with the bribery?
We haven't even made a decision to impeach. That's what the inquiry is about. And when the committees decide that, and they will decide what the articles are.
The impeachment process is still underway. Stay tuned for updates here on SUTV.
So it looks like things are getting a little testy in Washington, but Utah, that governor race is going to be very interesting. I saw that Spencer Cox, he, as soon as Huntsman announced it, he came out with an announcement that 125 mayors in Utah are endorsing him for governor, and Utah's got about 250 cities that have mayors in it.
Yeah.
And so that's about half of the mayors in Utah that just say, hey, Spencer Cox, we believe, is going to be the best governor for Utah. And Huntsman, of course, has already served as governor. So I think that race is going to get really interesting in the coming year.
Yeah, it'll be definitely very interesting to keep following and to keep tabs on. But how's the weather looking today, Ryan?
The last week of warm weather is right around the corner. We'll be right back.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Good. Homemade noodles. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It reminds me, I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one, it's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes on your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think then? Arm or the butt?
Welcome back to SUTV. I'm Ryan Sunderman. So you can see with the single-day weather forecast today, the 14th, the high is going to be about 65 with a low of about 37. Right now we're looking at about 64 degrees, so there's no real change since last week with the mid to low 60s all throughout the week. And right now we're looking at gusts of about 6 to 7 miles an hour from the south-southwest. Not looking at any rain just yet, and a low humidity percentage with the wind chill in the high 50s, about the low 60s. Friday it's going to be partly cloudy, and Saturday it's going to be clear, if not a little chilly. With that, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. So the 7-day forecast, like I said, today we'll have some clouds in the morning, and it's just going to keep building up, and it should be overcast this afternoon for about 70-80% cloud cover. On Friday it's going to be partly cloudy, about 65 degrees, on the high, 32 degrees low. On Saturday, it's going to be sunny and clear, but it will be a little chilly. It's going to be about 60 degrees on the high, and that'll probably manifest about 2 or 3 p.m. right around kickoff of the football game. And the low is going to be about 26 degrees, probably coming in about 8 or 9 p.m. So it will start warm and then just get progressively cooler on Saturday throughout the football game against Northern Arizona. On Sunday, it's gonna stay sunny, and it's gonna be about 60 degrees on the high, about a 30-degree low. So not much change from Saturday. On Monday, we're gonna jump up in temperature a little bit to 64 degrees high, 31 degrees low, but it's still gonna be clear and sunny. Tuesday, we're gonna have some clouds coming in, and it's gonna be the same temperatures, 64 degrees, about 30 degrees low. Wednesday is where it starts to change. On Wednesday, we're going to get our first taste of rain, frost, and maybe a little bit of snow, because it's going to drop about 13 degrees. You can see that here from 64 to 51, and about 25 degrees low. So it is going to be rainy on Wednesday, and you'll probably have some frost on your grass and windshield when you wake up Wednesday morning from the cooler temperatures Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And we might be experiencing some snow from Wednesday onward, but I'll tell you guys more about that next week. That'll about wrap it up. Back to you as the desk.
Thanks for the weather update, Ryan. So, yeah, Wednesday looked like might be our first snowfall.
I'm not excited for that. One of the things I hate more than anything, and it's such a simple thing, but getting up and just scraping frost off of your windshield. I find that so annoying. Like, especially because I don't have an auto start car. And so I have to go out there and like start it with my keys. So first off, someone might steal my car if I do that. So just doing that is not the best thing to do at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly, yeah. Especially if you're running late or anything like that. It's like,
and that's the worst part because if you start your day off bad, it just gets worse from there because you suddenly have got to do that.
Yeah, I've definitely had to only scrape one line to see and then drive to class real quick because it's been so late.
But hey, the football game is going to look good.
Yeah.
Connor, what have we got coming up next in sports?
Coming up on SUTV Sports, we've got a recap of the close loss by SU basketball last night. Don't go anywhere.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to SUTV Sports. I'm Connor Sanders. The Thunderbird football team will play their last home game of the season as they host Northern Arizona University in the Grand Canyon rivalry. SU is coming off a bye week and is prepped to win their second consecutive home game and their third home game of the season. The 4-6 Lumberjacks are coming off a crushing loss last weekend as they gave up a 10-point lead to number 8 ranked Sacramento State with just under 6 minutes left. NAU had lost 4 straight matchups to the T-Birds until last year when they won 31-23 in Flagstaff. The key for SU on Saturday will be slowing down Lumberjack quarterback Case Cookus, as he needs only 94 more passing yards to have the most passing yards in program history. He leads an offensive passing attack that leads the FCS in passing yards per game with 333 yards per game and then has 3,339 yards on the season. The game will kick off this Saturday at 2:05 p.m. SU men's basketball is reeling after a close loss to Brigham Young University last night. It was the first matchup between the teams since 2007. The T-Birds fought hard but ultimately fell 68-63 in the Marriott Center. BYU jumped out to a 10-point lead midway through the first half, but the T-Birds battled back and cut the lead to 5 heading into halftime. An 11-3 run led by John Knight III put SU up 4 with 13 minutes remaining. The teams exchanged points until a bucket by Knight preserved the 4-point lead just inside the 11-minute mark. From there, SU did not score a point for 6 minutes and found themselves down 60-56 with 5 minutes remaining. 2 baskets by Harrison Butler and 3 BYU free throws cut the margin to 3, and Knight scored a pull within 1 point heading into the final minute. BYU's Jake Toulson nailed a step-back three-pointer on the next possession and put the game out of reach. Toulson and Knight both finished with 22 points, but Knight did his work in just 23 minutes off the bench. The T-Birds finished 0-12 from three-point range and only mustered 9 points in the last 10 minutes. The T-Birds moved to 2-1 on the season. The basketball team will head to California on Monday to face the University of California, Los Angeles. The Bruins are 2-0 in 2019 with wins over Long Beach State and UC Santa Barbara. In the Pac-12's preseason media poll, the Bruins were slated to finish in 8th place, 1 spot higher than where they finished at the end of last season. Redshirt sophomore Jalen Hill leads the team with 14.5 points per game. Junior guard Chris Smith has scored 13 points in each of the team's opening games. The Bruins are coached by Mick Cronin, who led the Cincinnati Bearcats to the NCAA tournament in each of the last 9 years. Cronin inherits a squad that finished 17-16 last season and did not play postseason basketball. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Mountain Time on Monday, and the game will be broadcast on the Pac-12 network. The Lady T-Birds are getting ready for their game tonight, where they will face off against the Grand Canyon Antelopes. With their first 2-0 start since 2016, SU will look to build off their convincing wins over Cal State Fullerton and Utah Valley. The Lady T-Birds will be led by senior guard Rebecca Cardenas, who was just named the Big Sky Women's Basketball Player of the Week after scoring 35 total points in the 2 wins. The award was the first time a Lady T-Bird has won Big Sky Player of the Week since 2016-2017, when Jessica Richardson earned the award. Tonight's game starts at 6 p.m. on the WAC Digital Network. That's all I have for you today. For SUTV, I'm Connor Sanders. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for the update, Connor.
Last football game for the home schedule this week. I have to admit, I'm a little bummed out about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
Football is just a great time of year. I know that SU hasn't done too well, but I think that this week is going to be a really good test. Like Connor said, they have the best passing offense in our league, and Coach Warren said that we're supposed to have a good passing defense, so it should be good. But the basketball team, I haven't seen this place so excited in like 20 years. So this season should be pretty good, but we'll see what happens with the team, and hopefully they don't flop.
Yeah, and unfortunately I didn't catch the game last night. I saw a bunch of watch parties for it, and yeah, it's just always a little disappointing how close it came, but
always, yeah.
Up next, we'll talk about an SUU magic show.
And the new redesign of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Stay tuned.
Life is made of moments. Family. A drunk driver could take it all away. Keep your family safe on the road, because after all, nothing is more beautiful. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Keep your family safe.
They made it sound like such a good deal. They said, sell us your house, rent it from us, and then buy it back over time.
They said they'd even fill out all of the paperwork for us.
They said they'd stop foreclosure no matter what. Guaranteed.
So we did what they urged us to do.
And we lost our house. We're getting tossed out.
Got scammed.
Professional mortgage scammers can be so convincing. They can cost you money. They can cost you your home. Mortgage fraud. The pros have lots of cons.
Don't be a victim. Protect yourself. Do your homework.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Fans awaiting the Sonic the Hedgehog movie are pleased with the new trailer that was released earlier this week. After the initial trailer was released back in April of this year, the movie creators were flooded with criticism on the design of Sonic's computer-animated appearance. Director Jeff Fowler listened to these comments and soon announced they would push back the movie release from November 2019 to February 2020 to allow time to recreate the Blue character. Comments on the newly released trailer are already showing to be more positive and appreciative of the redesign. The movie stars Jim Carrey, James Marsden, and Ben Schwartz, telling the story of Sonic figuring out how to get by and survive on planet Earth.
The world has fallen in love with a unique puppy from Missouri. The aptly named, quote, Narwhal the Little Magical Furry Unicorn was born with a tail on his forehead. Narwhal was found by Max Mission, a nonprofit that rescues and cares for dogs with special needs or ones that have been abused. According to the vets that examined Narwhal, the tail is not connected to any muscles, so he can't wag it, but it also presents no harm and therefore no reason to remove it. Narwhal, along with an older dog that he was found with, were brought in by Max Mission and cared back to health, where they will continue to be cared for until they are ready for adoption, where Narwhal will be put up for adoption once the vets are sure that his extra tail will not go through a growth spurt and present any issues.
On November 12th, 2 people were checked into a Beijing hospital and are being treated for plague. Authorities say this is the second time the disease has been detected in the region, the last time being in May earlier this year, where a couple in Mongolia died from the bubonic plague. The 2 patients have been diagnosed with the pneumonic plague, one of 3 forms of the plague, and the cause has not yet been released. There have been close to 50,000 cases reported in the last 20 years worldwide, and in 2015, 2 people in Colorado died from the plague. The cases have increased so much that the World Health Organization has named it as a re-emerging disease. In the U.S., there are a few dozen cases reported of plague every year. There is currently only antibiotics that can stop complications and death, but only if given soon enough.
Students around Cedar are learning some new tricks thanks to SUU's community classes. My co-anchor Jeff has the story.
Is that the middle? Everyone agree?
When it comes to entertainment, there's nothing quite as magical as, well, magic. And here at Cedar North Elementary, that's exactly what some families are able to learn. Sponsored by the Office of Community and Academic Enrichment, the Magic Tricks and Other Magical Secrets class aims to provide parents and children with the ability to learn the beginning steps to becoming a magician. For 2 hours each Tuesday, the students and parents have the ability to practice old tricks learned from previous sessions, while also beginning to master new ones, all under the guidance of a professional magician.
Practice, practice, more practice before you try to do it in front of anyone. Because practice makes perfect, as they say.
While also having been a lifelong teacher, Lynn Craven is a member of the world-famous Magic Castle, located in Hollywood, California. His passion for everything magical began as a child when his father would teach him new magic tricks after returning home from the military, and so this inspired him to incorporate magic into his lesson. Each magic lesson, the students are given the opportunity to showcase their talents in front of the class. Over the course of the 4-week session, the children are hoping to master the tricks in time for their performance at the Fall Showcase. The Fall Showcase is being presented by the Southern Utah University Community Education classes and goes on from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Great Hall in the Hunter Conference Center. There are family-friendly entertainment such as a free concert by the Cedar City Community Band, community artwork being showcased, and, of course, magical performances by the students can be observed. Be sure to stop on by and witness these students show off their newfound magic skills. For SUTV News, I'm Jeff Mullins. Yeah, so I want that dog, Narwhal. As soon as it's up for adoption.
Yeah, that seems really cute. I'm a bit torn on that. I think that not removing the tail is just a bit mean.
I mean, that's how he was born. It's about acceptance. And he looks so cute. How could you take it off?
Oh, I mean, all dogs are cute.
Yeah.
It's rare to ever find a dog that's not cute.
Then how do you find a dog that's extra cute that has 2 tails?
Seriously.
2 tails better than 1.
I am sticking with it.
He can't wag it, but
yeah, if there's no muscle, I think it's essentially like a skin tag. You know,
I guess.
It doesn't.
If he could wag it, it would be terrifying.
Yeah.
True.
That'd be better.
Yeah, true.
That
is.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in. That's all we have for you. I'm Kurt Meekum.
I'm Connor Sanders.
I'm Ryan Sunderman.
And I'm Jeff Mullins. Come back Tuesday for more news here on SUTV.